Picture a Roman legionary standing shoulder to shoulder with his brothers, gripping a sword forged by hand over a roaring fire. Now picture a soldier today, sitting in an air-conditioned room 1,000 miles from the battlefield, guiding a machine with nothing but a joystick and a screen. Only a few thousand years separate these two men, but in that gap lies one of the strangest, bloodiest, most relentless races in human history. The race to build a better way to kill. And it never, ever stopped. Long before empires or armies, weapons were about survival. A sharpened stone tied to a wooden shaft. A spear that could kill from a few feet away instead of bare hands. It doesn't sound like much, but it was the first time in history that a human being could kill something bigger, faster, and stronger than themselves without ever touching it. That single idea, distance equals power, would define every weapon that came after it, all the way to today. Then came metal. Bronze first, then iron. And suddenly, weapons weren't just tools. They were technology worth killing for. A good sword could decide whether an empire rose or fell. But metal alone didn't win wars. Organization did. The armies that learned to fight as one disciplined unit, like the Greek phalanx or the Roman legion, didn't just have better weapons. They had a better system. And that lesson would repeat itself for the next 3,000 years. For centuries, war was a constant chess match between offense and defense. Swords got sharper, so armor got thicker. Armor got thicker, so weapons got heavier. Warhammers, maces, crossbows built to punch straight through steel. Castles rose higher, with walls meant to withstand anything. And for a while, it worked. Fortresses that had stood for hundreds of years seemed untouchable. Until one invention made every single one of them obsolete overnight. Gunpowder was invented in China, but it was Europe that turned it into a monster. For the first time, a peasant with a few weeks of training and a simple firearm could kill a knight who had trained his entire life. Castles that had protected kings for centuries fell in days under cannon fire. It was the first time in history that raw courage and years of training suddenly meant less than the weapon in your hands. War would never be personal in the same way again. As gunpowder spread, it didn't just change battles on land. It put entire oceans up for grabs. Warships bristling with cannons became floating fortresses, and whoever controlled the seas controlled trade, colonies, and empires. This was the beginning of something new. War fought not just for territory, but for global power. And the nations that mastered naval technology first would go on to rule much of the planet for the next 300 years. The Industrial Revolution didn't just build factories, it industrialized killing itself. The machine gun meant one soldier could now do the work of 100. Barbed wire, tanks, poison gas, airplanes dropping bombs from the sky, all of it arrived within a few decades of each other. World War I showed humanity something it had never truly understood before. That technology could now erase tens of thousands of lives in a single afternoon. And somehow, the worst was still ahead. World War II compressed a century of innovation into 6 years. Radar let armies see enemies before they arrived. Jet engines made planes faster than anyone thought possible. Submarines turned the ocean depths into a hidden battlefield. Every side was racing to build something the other side didn't have yet. And in a secret desert laboratory in New Mexico, one team was working on something that would make every weapon before it look like a toy. August 6, 1945. For the first time in human history, a single bomb destroyed an entire city in seconds. The world suddenly understood there was no longer any real limit to how much destruction one weapon could cause. From that moment on, weapons weren't just tools of war anymore. They became tools of deterrence, a shadow hanging over every political decision made on the planet. Nations stopped asking, "How do we win a war?" and started asking, "Can we survive one?" As gunpowder spread, it didn't just change battles on land. It put entire oceans up for grabs. Warships bristling with cannons became floating fortresses, and whoever controlled the seas controlled trade, colonies, and empires. This was the beginning of something new. War fought not just for territory, but for global power. And the nations that mastered naval technology first would go on to rule much of the planet for the next 300 years. By the late 20th century, war stopped being about who had the biggest weapon and started being about who had the smartest one. GPS-guided missiles could hit a target the size of a car from miles away. Satellites gave commanders real-time views of entire battlefields from orbit. Precision replaced brute force. But this was only the beginning of a much bigger shift, one where humans would start stepping back from the battlefield entirely. Today, a war can be fought without a single soldier ever setting foot near the danger. Drones can watch, track, and strike targets while their operators sit safely thousands of miles away. Cyber attacks can cripple a country's power grid without firing a single bullet. The line between soldier and computer engineer is disappearing fast. And the question we're facing now isn't how do we fight wars anymore? It's something much stranger. Who decides who dies? A human being or an algorithm? Right now, militaries around the world are testing autonomous systems, machines that can identify and engage targets with little to no human input. Some experts call it the next great leap in military technology. Others call it one of the most dangerous ideas humanity has ever pursued. Because for the first time, the decision to end a human life might not belong to a human being at all. From sharpened stone to self-guided algorithms, one thing has never changed: humanity's endless drive to build something more powerful than what came before, to protect what we love or to destroy what we fear. The real question was never what the next weapon would be. The real question is whether we'll ever be ready for what it does to us. So tell me, what do you think the next chapter of this story looks like? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.